Welcome to After the Show, your weekly movie podcast brought to you by A. Scully and Sid Talk. We're addicted to movies. Are you? Hello, everybody. Welcome to After the Show. Hello, Sid Talk. How are you?
Hello.
How are the listeners today? Are you all good?
You didn't give me a chance to tell you how I am.
Oh,
you just railroaded right over me.
I did. I was more interested in the listeners.
Yeah, no.
Are you all right, though? Are you good?
Define all right.
Are you good? Do you feel good?
Fine.
Are you ready to talk?
Let's say I'm always ready to talk. If that's the measure, I'm always fine.
All right. So, Sid Talk's ready to talk. I'm ready to talk. And welcome to After the Show. We're a movie review podcast. Every week we
Wait, what's the before the after the show discussion?
Nothing.
This movie a little bit?
Yes.
And you practicing?
Yes.
And then that was fairly silent, so we're married. We don't talk constantly.
Can I get on with my intro now?
Yes, please do.
All right, thank you. So, it is Saturday, August the 12th. This is After the Show number 800. 800.
Any special celebration for this?
Yes.
Okay.
I told you, we're going to eat 800 cakes.
Oh, you didn't tell me. I'm very happy about that.
Did you get the 800 cakes in?
No, I have one banana bread I made yesterday.
Oh, we
Does that
could
do?
eat that.
Will that work?
Yeah, that'll suffice.
I have raisins. There could be 800 in that box. I don't know.
All right. So on episode 800, we're looking at a new movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's a 2023 release. You can get it on Blu-ray 4K now, rated PG-13. Is it 13? I guess I put PG-13, but it's surely not.
I don't know. There could be things in the background you don't notice
No.
that somebody took offensively.
I take that back. It's actually PG, not PG-13. It's from our friends at Sony. Sid Talk, give us the synopsis of the movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Well, it's about Spider-Man across the multiverse. See what I did there? Instead of the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Across the multiverse? Because I know stuff about comic terms and whatnots.
I see what you did. It was very good. Here's the real one. Miles Morales catapults across the multiverse, where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. When the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it means to be a hero.
Yeah, man. That's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I'll say it's better than mine because mine was very, very small.
It was. So, this is the second in the Spider-Verse series. We really loved the first one. I went back and listened to what we thought of it. We loved it.
We have one mind. We only think as one unit.
It also won an Oscar for Best Animation, and it was highly deserved. So, Sitar, what do you think of the sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
Loved it. The end.
The end.
It's just really good. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am not a nitpicky comic book / spider person / Marvel nerd person. So if somebody wants to nitpick and be all nerdy about it, cool. But for me, it's just 100% visually stimulating and lovely because it's all art. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's animated. Did we say that? It's an animated movie.
Yes.
Animated isn't just, moving frames of the same shape across the front and a plain background, not plain, but, static background as we think of animation. It becomes moving pieces of individual art, really. And so to me, just looking at it is exciting. Emotionally, it's very good, really tapped in. I like that. And it's good. I like it's an interesting story,
It is. And this style of animation, I haven't seen it before, only in these movies. Nobody's tried to copy it.
I think it's probably in a lot of independent animation.
I mean,
you just don't watch a lot of independent animation.
Right. Whatever the style is, it's incredible to look at. Everything about it is. Sometimes I'm looking at it and thinking, I need to see this again because I think I just missed 5 things.
Absolutely.
Because it seems very, very detailed.
Yeah, you paused once to go take a pee break. TMI? I don't know. Everyone has to pee during the movies, right?
I went to the toilet.
Maybe you don't pause and leave your seat, but we don't want to know about that. But you paused, and it was like one of the other dimensions, another universe, and up in the background, one of the buildings in the city had an upside down Nike swoosh, and it said, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
And you would not. And as soon as you hit play again, because he's spinning around looking at the city real quick. The only reason I saw it was because you paused on it. And I'm thinking there must be tons of that in there.
Yeah, I definitely think so. That's why it would be excellent on streaming or Blu-ray. You can literally pause any frame. All of it could be a poster on your wall, right? It's all fantastic.
Or you can wait until somebody goes through it frame by frame and writes it all down for you. Puts it on the internet.
Even the production logos at the beginning were done in multiple styles, and it was so fast you couldn't really catch all of them. So there's a lot to it. You could watch it hundreds of times and probably still see something new, I would imagine.
I don't know about hundreds, but I'm with you in spirit.
I think so. Because you've only got 2 eyes and there's so much going on.
2 eyes, 1 brain.
I really liked the story in this one. It was quite touching. I think the first one was touching too.
What I like about it, and I'm going to refer this to my own life, is that what he finds in the story is that there is an association of all the spider people from all the universes, right?
Yes.
So we're talking thousands, millions probably, because when we get to their headquarters, it's just chock full of them, as you would say. Is that what it's called? Chocka?
Yeah, chock-a-block.
Or is that Australian? I don't know. But then this association, the guy who's leading it, kind of their objective is to make sure that everything stays the same in everybody's universe. Like, we all should, maybe not everyone knows what canon means, right? So in the canon of a universe like Spider-Man, or it could be in any world, right? You could even pick Wizard of Oz, and if you're doing a whole series of different movies and books,
yeah,
canon is the thing that's really, I'm going to say, true to the story. It's fiction, but you get what I'm saying. So somebody might write a story over here that says the Wicked Witch of the West was actually Dorothy's sister. Well, if the actual whole of the story that isn't true, then that's not canon. Someone's just made that story up and stuck it in there, right?
Right.
And it's not going to be anything. But canon would be that there's always, no matter how many times you rewrite the story, there's always a tornado. She always goes to Oz. There's always a Tin Man. So the Spider-Verse thing, this association, is trying to make it so that every single Spider-Man story, or that every single storyline in every single universe, has the dead uncle, the dead cop, that the story goes in the same order. They all have the same...
The one that you know and love, the Spider-Man
Right,
story.
I mean, the one that we know originally from our Spider-Man. So this guy, the main guy in this association, is trying to make that happen because he says the whole universe of that Spider-Man will unravel, right? Because his did. Now he's telling our Spider-Man, our little young Spider-Man, you have to suffer the same pain that everyone else does, or else you won't be the person you need to be, which is like the bottom line of that story, right? If you don't suffer the bad things that are just meant to happen because of fate, quote unquote, you will never live up to your full potential. And he's kind of like, what? What? You can't just let it happen and then hope that you grow from it, or hope that you can't just do that. And I feel like that applies to actual life. And of course, people write these stories, and people actually kind of give you that vibe in life. Oh, well, this bad thing's going to happen and you're just going to have to deal with it. We all suffer. We're all got chunks ripped out of us. And even though you see the bad thing coming, you can't do anything about it. It's just going to happen, right? Like, you get that vibe from people. Oh, if you retire young, you're going to be broke and you're going to have problems and you're going to get fat and lazy. I'm not even kidding you. These are things people haven't said those words, but that's what they mean when I tell them I'm retiring soon. That fate is already written for me, that I have to just do that because that's what the plan is. But if I retire early, I'm breaking the canon,
My answer would be to those people, I'm already fat and lazy, so nothing can go wrong.
Wait a minute. We're going to pause on that for a second. Are you saying that's what I would say because I am fat and lazy?
No, that's what I would say.
I'm already broke. I'm already fat. I'm already lazy.
No offense.
But I mean, that's that vibe I get is like, well, this is the way you're supposed to just now work until you get miserable and hate it. And then eventually you'll just drop dead. Like, that's the story you're supposed to fulfill, because we're all fulfilling that story. If you break that canon, well, then what are we going to do? Because I think I have to work until I drop dead, right? So
yes.
That's what is being portrayed here, is that he doesn't seem to have a choice, even amongst all the people who are supposed to be just like him, i.e. spider people, right? Superheroes / crime fighters or whatever. they're all sort of brainwashed into this one thing. And I feel like that's my favorite thing about this whole story is that, somebody's breaking free from that. And I love, who I'm going to love.
Gwen Stacy.
Oh, she's good too. But the representative from your part of the world.
Oh, the punk Spider-Man.
The punk Spider-Man is awesome.
He's really good, yeah.
He's really good.
I like him that he likes that the baby has pooed in its diaper.
He's like,
he likes that. That's
this. And he knows he's a hypocrite because he belongs to this association. And then he says, I don't belong to any group. And they're like, but you belong to a band. And he's like, whatever. Yeah. He's aware of himself. I just love it. And he's right on with yeah, fuck everybody. There's your F word for the day, everyone.
There are lots of different spider people in this movie. Too many to count.
I bet there's a list somewhere of somebody to make because it'd be fun to know because there were a lot.
One I did notice that you wouldn't have noticed, but I noticed, was the Sony PlayStation game, Spider-Man, which is awesome, by the way. The version of Spider-Man and Miles Morales from that game were in the Spider headquarters. Did you see them?
I did not.
It even came up on the screen, like a little tag at the bottom that said, Insomniac Spider-Man.
Oh, I know. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying about it being full of stuff.
It's very meta as well. It's very aware of itself. That's the word the kids like to use. It's very meta.
I liked when they said, we're supposed to be the good guys.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying. The story is that if you regulate something so much that you suck the life out of it and you distract all these spider people and creatures from what they're supposed to be doing because one person has suffered, that's the main guy. And so he's kind of a bad guy at the same time, right? Because he sort of roped them all into this idea, and which means he's letting bad things happen in every universe because of his fear that things will go very wrong. So yeah, it's just, I loved it. I thought it was really good. And maybe I'm interpreting it differently than intended, but that's all right.
I had no idea about this, but this is the middle movie in a trilogy. I didn't even know it was a trilogy.
No, because you paused yet again to take a pee break, and you're like, how can they finish this in 15 minutes?
Yeah, like, we were 15 minutes. And I'm like, there's 10 minutes of credit, surely. So we've got 5 minutes to wrap all this up, and there's no way.
And that was a correct assessment.
It says, to be continued, Spider-Man will return. So
I can accept that, though, with this. I have no problem with that. And I usually don't love that. But this time, I like that they're stretching it out so you get the full thing, Visually, I can eat it up.
And again, this is 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is awesome because you get so much of that animation.
Correct.
And, I didn't want it to end. I was really into it. Let's get on to the cast. We've got these people was in the other movie, but we've got Shameik Moore as Miles Morales. What do you think?
Very good.
He's really
very, very good.
Got a lot to his performance.
Very emotive, as they like to say.
Yeah, and when he has to do the emotional stuff, it really tugs at you.
It does, and it's not like sappy. It's not like lip trembling, voice trembling. It's just straight up like for real, and I feel like he does an excellent job.
We've got Haley Steinfeld, who we see in other Marvel show called Hawkeye. She's like the new Hawkeye. But she here plays Gwen Stacy. What do you think?
Very good. There's not one not good one. So no matter who you ask me, I think they're all amazing.
There's some standout ones, and I think the standout ones were Brian Tyree Henry and Luna Lauren Veras, who play his mom and dad.
Oh, the mom and dad, really good.
Yeah, and there are scenes with the mom and dad that are just hilarious, I think. When they see that he's talking to a girl and they both go up to investigate and they're just acting like this protective parent thing, right?
It's very good.
You don't hurt our son. And, it's just, there's a lot of,
there's a lot of comedy. A lot of comedy.
Yeah, it's mostly funny, right? I mean, it gets dramatic towards the end.
It's very dark. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of jokes that you also might miss because there's so much action and so many people talking.
Oh, there's a lot. It's okay. I am 55, almost 56 years old. And so I'll be honest. And sometimes I'm like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It feels like, woohoo.
But
like
then
overload.
I'm super stimulated by it. And it's only, it's like, why should I expect everything to go at a pace where I'm like, can absorb all the stuff, right? If I want to watch it again, I will. So again, exactly. I'm changing, I'm adapting in a good way to the modernization of my art that I love, which is cinema.
Yes.
That sounds like something I should type up in an article.
So this is directed by 3 directors, and they're all animation people. And it carries on, the same people who directed the first one, it carries that style on, right?
Mm-hmm.
The directing it's outrageous. I mean,
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, it's crazy. Sometimes you're like, wow, that's happening.
Or what's happening?
Yeah.
What the hell is happening?
And some of the things with the actual live action multiverse movies, we were like, oh, they didn't utilize the multiverse much, maybe because it's hard to do it all in special effects.
Sure.
But in here, they can do what they want. It's animation. They can, if they want to go to Mumbai in a different, they go to India, right? Don't they? In a different universe where it's a big mega city. And it's fully realized and it's amazing. And they spend a bit of time there. Maybe they don't go to many. How many worlds do they go to? Because I remember Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, one of our complaints was they didn't really go anywhere in the multiverse. They were like 2 places, and then that was it. They just give up on it. Here, maybe there's 6.
I don't remember. I have to think back, but...
I mean, with this kind of animation, you could literally visit anywhere you wanted, whenever you wanted, and draw it. So,
But you make it sound so easy.
yes, it's easy.
Let's just tell the animators and the director and the producers and all the money people, can we just have more universes, please? Just snappity snap. One day, I want you to make me a movie that goes to more, and please, thank you. I'll download it as soon as you get it done.
Let's look at the IMDb reviews. These are people who didn't like this movie. And
right.
What's wrong with you if you didn't like this movie?
I mean, all I can think is nitpicky people who are going to say, like, well, that didn't even exist in the spider world, whatever.
Well, the first guy who gives this movie 1 star, just 1 star.
Correct.
On IMDb says, tiresome movie. The theme that teenagers know better than their parents is done to death. They don't know me is such a tired cliche. Lots of flashes of colour that's all pointless other than to get the ADHD generation's attention and to stretch out the running time. The first half is dreary. The second half is slightly more interesting, but has more plot twists than an O. I don't know what that means. You would think the writers would have followed the multiverse underpinning and come up with something original.
But I love is this voice that you're giving.
Yeah, that guy.
I love it.
This guy says, they've removed his review, so I can't read it.
Oh, was he rude? Probably
rude. This guy says, this is the first movie I've walked out of and asked for a refund in 20 years. The animation is terrible and spasmodic. It actually hurts your eyes to watch. I don't have epilepsy, but now I do. The plot, in as much as I saw, was just pure drivel. Juvenile angstness, maybe teens will like it for that reason. I obviously won't be watching the next movie.
I'll address that. I mean, what? What? You do understand that when you're young, okay, like I said, I'm giving you my age. So when you're young, your view of the world is limited and also open. You are not brainwashed yet. You're not closed up yet. You haven't got experiences and you don't know how things are going to end up. We can look at a young person who's making a choice and cover our eyes and be like, oh, it may go very badly because we've done it, right? We've experienced it. But when you're young, the world is open and you are less fearful, and young people are correct a lot in their assessment of a situation when we young people. I mean, we were young people once. It doesn't mean you're trying to portray that children know more than their parents. It's like a spectrum of life. When you're young, you see things a certain way. You have a little more bravery or a lot more bravery because you're not worn down, right? You're not whittled away by fear and ignorance and ideas that get like hammered into your mind. And then it's like that holds your whole brain together. So you're not allowed to like break out of that. And so I feel like that person who complains about that, the brain is very hammered.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? You catch what I'm throwing?
Yes.
Do you smell what I'm spraying? That's a new saying I'm trying to get to catch on.
It'll never catch on.
You smell what I'm spraying? I love it. You smell what I'm spraying, man?
Third guy says, this was like a long pilot episode for TV. 0 plot and 2 hours of drama without any ending. Boring.
To the point. That's fair.
Yeah. So those are the people who didn't like the movie. And we are people who did like the movie. Let's give this movie a score. I'm going to give Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse an 8 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 9.
Ooh.
A 9, bro.
Bro. Well, you trying to be a young person, bro?
Bruh. Yes, bruh.
Bra's like from about, what, 10 years ago?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What's up? Is that what the kids say?
That's like 30 years ago. That's like the 90s, bruh.
Bruh. What's up? We're so weird.
There are going to be people listening to this who are young enough to not even know what you're doing.
No.
Or me. What do you mean, what's up? That's so weird.
Never heard of it.
I'm so brain. Talk about brainwashing. It's been 30 years and we still will say, what's up?
Well, I'll speak for yourself. I don't say that.
You just did. Spoiler alert, you've been brainwashed.
Next week, we're going to look at the new Jennifer Lawrence movie, No Hard Feelings. Do you know about this one?
I don't.
Well, you will next week when you've watched it. Movie recommendations. I am going on the theme of this Spider-Man movie. I'm going with Hawkeye, which also stars Haley Steinfeld. And she's awesome in that.
Is that a movie?
Well, it's a TV show
TV
/
show.
movie.
It's not a movie.
It was 6 episodes, and it just felt like a big movie.
Right, but it was actually a TV show.
Disney Plus, if you want to watch it. And the other one is the people who wrote this movie, Lord and Miller. They also did the Lego movies. And there's also a tribute to the Lego movies in this movie. So I'm going to recommend the Lego movie, which is awesome. Everything is awesome. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've seen it. I know
Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
I'm not a collaborator, so
Everything is awesome.
he can kiss my ass, that little happy guy. And I'm going to say I am doing recommendations from this millennia, from this century that started in the year 2000. I'm up to 2017, quickly approaching modern era.
Yes.
And I'm doing all science fiction this year, only 5 movies per week. And it's not a matter of quality. It's just a matter of I have seen them. I don't always remember them, but I know I've seen them. So I don't know what kind of a review that is. But Ghost in the Shell from 2017, which you liked.
That was
Charlize Theron. Or no, it was Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Correct.
Yeah.
Kong, Skull Island, 2017.
Skull Island is the best of the Kong movies.
Is it?
Yes.
No, King Kong from like 1923 is.
But of the new
actually,
trilogy.
I like the 1970s one as well. Just putting that out there, which is why I love King Kong, because of that movie and the other one. But I'm struggling with all the newest ones, but I'll watch them all. It's like zombie movies. I will do it until they stop making Kong movies. Legion from 2017, which isn't a movie.
TV show.
TV show is really good.
It's by the creator of Fargo, the TV show.
Right. And it's also of the superhero universe.
X-Men, yeah.
Correct. Which is Marvel, right?
Yes.
I'm learning. And it was really good. It was really deep and dark and weird. And it's kind of off the side, kind of like Iron Fist, which doesn't fit for a lot of people, but I really like.
I feel like Legion's the weirdest of what's been made of Marvel stuff.
Absolutely.
It's very, I don't know, psychedelic?
Sometimes. But when you get on the train, it's kind of like watching Twin Peaks. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying.
It is a bit, yeah.
You get in the mind, you start the show, and then you're just like, whatever is going to happen. I'm on the path with you creator people who made this story for me to like get all swallowed up in.
It's kind of like an episode will start and it seems you're like, I don't know what's going on. And then you're like, oh, this whole episode just takes place inside somebody's brain.
And it has a purpose. But I mean, it sounds boring, but
it's crazy.
And then I have Radius from 2017.
Never heard of it.
I don't remember it, but it's probably one of my Halloween jaunts. You know, in the end of the year, I watch tons of creepy and weird and crappy movies. Yeah. I'm guessing it's one of those. And then The Circle from 2017.
Didn't like it. It's the one with the Harry Potter girl in it.
Hermione. Potter girl. Okay.
She's older, though. She's not Hermione anymore. She's.
I get it. Yeah. It's not like part of it. What was it? I don't remember.
It's some kind of like thing she gets a job at. And then it's like this cool glass building.
Right.
I can't remember what goes on in there.
You mean this? Is it like the TV show, The Circle?
No. No.
Which we don't watch, by the way.
It's not.
So those are my recommendations. As you can see, I'm not fully supporting them. I'm just saying I have seen them. They're in my brain somewhere and on a list.
Well, Ace Scully stuff, I've been playing some of Cyberpunk 2077, but it's an older game. I've just been playing because there was a new patch that made it look good. It looks really good now.
How superficial.
It was full of bugs when it came out. It was very famous for being like almost unplayable. It was so bad. But 2 years have passed. It's had lots of patches. I decided not to play it back then. I played a little bit and I was like, that's too many bugs for me. My gun disappeared on one level and I just couldn't do anything. It was just, so I'd give up.
My gun disappeared.
So I've come back now to play and I'm, maybe an hour, 2 hours into it and it's much better. It's in better condition. I've still had a bug though. I got out of a car and my friend was stood in front of me and the car drove past my friend and then my friend disappeared and he was on top of the car driving off into the distance. He was supposed to be talking to me. The car basically hit him and took him away. So
got it.
Now I have his voice, but he's not with me anymore. So there is a bug. There's still bugs. But it's a cool looking game. So Sito, what's for dinner?
We're going to go with beans and potatoes again. I've decided. I'm going to the store, get some baked beans.
And potatoes.
We have homegrown potatoes, which I am in love with. And they're quickly running out because I only grew a few. So that's what we're having for supper.
And what's your advice? And let's get out of here.
My advice is one thing that I'm not going to say makes life better, but it kind of helps make sense of things is, and I don't know if there's only two types of people, but I'm going to go with, for this illustration, we're going with two types of people. I'm a type of person who likes process, being in the moment, like right now, doing the thing, like all of the thing, except for exercise. Don't love that. So I might be a split personality, but mostly if it's like making art or doing thing or cooking or gardening or whatever the thing is, learning something at work, I like the process of doing it. The end result is what it is. That's not my focus always, unless it's a problem that needs to be solved and I don't want to dick around and I just want to get the problem solved, right? Like at work. It could be vital. But in life, in general, I lean toward, like right now I'm making a banner for my Aunt Pam's class reunion and I'm hand drawing it and painting it. And it's like from the 70s. So I'm doing like some band logos, And in the past, just to get banners done a little more quickly, I print out the design and then I lay it behind my big piece of paper and I trace it and then I hand draw it and paint it and everything, right? This time I'm like, screw it. I mean, I can draw stuff and I can just look at a picture or a font and I can just mimic it and draw it. And that process is so satisfying. Now, I have friends and people I love who would just be like insanely sick of it after about 2 seconds, including my mom. My mom likes to paint, but her mind is, I just want to get this done so it's done. I just want to see it. Not that she's doesn't enjoy the process at all, but her goal is the end, not the doing, right? And
right.
It's successful for her. She enjoys it very much. But I'm not that. If this banner weren't to get finished, or at the end of it, it was like, it's fine. I will still have these 2 or 3 days of getting out all my pencils and getting out all my paints and looking at it for endless numbers of hours and mulling it over and erasing stuff and drawing it again. And the process of then like watching my Barn and Miller while I'm drawing it or listening to music or talking to you while I'm sitting in the sunshine looking over at my gardening stuff. It's like all of that matters to me. And I think there are different types of people. Either you're taught to be a ramrod, as we would say from where I'm from, where you just want to get the thing done, right? Get it done, get her done, get her done. Kind of not always caring about the quality. You just want the end result. So like winning a race would be that. But you have to train to win that race, right? So the process of training, if you hated that whole process, all you cared about was winning, just imagine how miserable your life is every day. Or weightlifting competition, or I don't know, you say you want to be a brilliant brain surgeon, but you despise studying and learning. You just want to do the brain surgery. We don't want that. We don't want a brain surgeon who doesn't want to do the learning part. But imagine the misery. And so if you can either learn to adapt how you approach things, like, well, maybe I'll just enjoy this process of learning this thing and enjoy the end. Or like me, try to be a little more focused on the end result. So that might apply to exercising, which I don't see that happening. But maybe I could get to where I enjoy slowly walking on the treadmill for endless drudgery hours of my life. No, I won't ever like that. But maybe some other exercise that I can learn to enjoy the process and then have a good result, right? What do you think you are?
What out of which choices?
You're either just the end result, like you don't enjoy the process.
No, I love the process.
You do.
I love learning things.
You do. He reads manuals of like anything.
I pretty much learn things all the time.
Yes, I do too. I love actually being
and
exposed.
if I'm not learning something, it feels weird. Like I need to learn something new.
Yeah, and when I say to somebody like, oh, I'm doing this thing, and there's like, oh, I could never do that. I'm too dumb for that. I'm just like, I can't even approach that way of thinking. It's like, I think you're capable of anything if you go through the process of getting there, right? But maybe those people aren't process people.
Maybe.
They want to skip, say, I've made up a whole new thing here. So if the internet wants to take this and run with it, or maybe I'm repeating something that some professionals have already identified, who knows? But I feel like my identifying this in myself at this age is a good thing because I can enjoy the now and not always like waste the now or the today just to get to an end result.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
ascully.com is the place you can go to get this podcast. And go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to see our social media. I'm A Scully, she's Sid Talk.
CIDTALK.
Yes. You can go to iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, anywhere that podcasts are available, including Spotify, which is my choice. I'm not biased, but that's my choice. You can email feedback to me, ascully@ascully.com. Do not email Sid Talk. She doesn't want any emails from you. And stay classy, Spider-Man in general. And I'm sure it's not the last we'll see of this webbed guy.
And I'm going to say think for yourself, because if you don't do it, someone's doing it for you.